It's all right. How's time looking?
We're good. We're
Good to
starting
go.
in both places.
Good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate you taking the time to come to our meetings today. Pastor Davis, everybody please stand.
Let's bow, please. Father, we're so grateful that we have you to call on. And you're always here to help us, God. You're always here to give us strength. You're always here to give us wisdom, God, and direction. God, that's what we're calling on you for tonight, Lord, is to help us, God, in this meeting. God, we need you, God, that every word we say, God, every thought we think, God, will be acceptable in your sight. Be with us now and give us wisdom, knowledge. Take care of your business. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Good morning, Lee. Mr. Chapman.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have two agendas tonight because we're going to have two meetings. First, obviously now at 5:02, and then upon completion, we'll have a second meeting for the reading of the opening of the budget of the bids that Mr. Solomon has in his hand. So, thank you, Pastor Davis. Madam Clerk, call roll for me, please.
Ms. Barrow. Here. Mr. Chappell.
Here.
Ms. Galbraith.
Here.
Ms. Gibson.
Here.
Mayor Kelly.
Here. Thank you, ma'am. Obviously, tonight's a public hearing, so we're going to have an agenda read to start with, and then when you go to page 2, it'll be explanatory as to why. Madam Clerk, would you please read it?
Public announcement, ad valorem tax rate trim notice pursuant to section 200.0652E of the Florida statutes, notice of tentative property taxes for the city of Parker trim notice. The proposed ad valorem rate for the fiscal year 2023-2024 was advertised to be a maximum of 3.8 mils. This millage rate would be greater than the current year's rolled back rate of 0 mils after reviewing revenue projections and proposed expenditure levels for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. The general fund budget is balanced at a tentative rate of 3.0 mils, which is more than the current year's rolled back rate by 3.0 mils, an increase of 3.0. This means 3.0 mils is to be levied to fund fiscal year 2023-2024 budget.
Thank you, ma'am. If you have an agenda, if you got one outside, I'm now going to ask any of the citizens that are in this room that would like to have any questions reference this to please raise their hand and then come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. So does anybody have any questions? Nobody? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Come to the podium, please. For the record, state your name and address.
And Coates, 1521 Dover Road.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, I know that the 2022-2023 audit has not been completed yet because I got it, but I did get a copy of it on the social media. But why has there not been a presentation to cover the audit findings?
Who would you like the presentation made to?
Just any one of your council members that would be able to let us know and understand. why.
Have we even had a meeting since it was approved?
I don't
I've
know
got to see
how
it.
they got one.
I don't know how they got a
because
copy. Who
we-
gave you that, ma'am?
I got it off the social media page.
How did you get that, ma'am?
The state auditor,
Okay.
auditor general,
The Auditor General got it from our audit company.
you all. Or,
No, he got it from Richard. Because we've not seen it.
Oh, he got it on the 19th of August.
Okay.
He told me.
All right.
And he led me to believe that it came from Parker.
City of,
The
It-
city of Parker.
right.
So,
Well, we
Those
will,
are uploaded for the state and the feds, but we have not scheduled a meeting to discuss it yet.
so I called him and I asked him for the audit, and he said he received it on the 19th of August, and he said he could send me a copy, and I could release it to the public.
okay, great. And his name was
David Ward? David Ward,
Ward, W-A-R-D?
yeah, state auditor, general.
I was in question of why it was on the social media and we couldn't get it off of.
Well, they put it on the social media. That's how you got it, you said.
Yeah, I got it off the social media.
That she put on there, right? Is that where it came from?
I don't know if she
'Cause
was.
I don't have a copy of that,
Why
ma'am.
isn't it on the city website, that's the question.
Yeah.
But I guess you said you don't even have a copy?
No,
No, too soon. If I had an answer for you, I'd give you one, but I don't have an answer because we've not been given that. Not had an exit briefing from Richard, or anybody. So the fact that you were able to get it from the state auditor to general surprises me that we haven't had a chance to see it, but we'll figure it out. So I'll give you an answer, ma'am, when I know an answer. How's that?
Okay, that sounds good.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else got anything before we move on? Yes, ma'am.
Is this the public hearing still?
Yes, ma'am. It's a public hearing. We're gonna go till everybody's done with their questions.
Jeanette Howard, 1123 East Park Street.
Yes, ma'am.
How much of the $823,000 of the ad valorem taxes will go into the CRA trust fund? So I saw a document today on the city website. It has been on the city website, off the city website, on the city website. But anyway, I saw $140,000. So.
That's coming from Bay County, Jeanette.
So
That's
Bay-
income for
it's
CRA
separate.
from Bay County.
It's
So-
completely
Okay,
separate
so Bay
from
County
the ad
is gonna
valorem.
put $140,000 into our CRA trust fund.
Correct.
So they collected at the tax office for us.
Right, so they collected 823,000,
Whatever.
140 of it's going to the
No.
CRA trust fund.
no, separate monies.
Separate accounts.
And it's actually 126.
One
The
twenty-
CRA is the CRA, the ad valorem is the ad valorem.
Right. But I mean, so 126 is going into the CRA trust fund.
what's already there.
From our calculations.
Okay, thank you, Suzanne. 126 going into the CRA trust
How
fund.
much is already there, ma'am?
About 13,000.
13 plus 126.
That's really good. We got that nice windfall, huh?
No, it's good to know. That's
Yeah.
what it's just good to know.
We
will
just
that-
got that information, Jeanette.
Okay, well, it's still good to know. Will that money go towards cleaning up blight in Parker?
We haven't even had a chance, we just
We
got
just got it.
Okay, you
We are
just
gonna
got it.
schedule a
Yes.
meeting.
Yes, somebody said
The
yes?
12th, we received that information on the 12th.
Okay, so that's.
It will not be in the newspaper because we didn't have it before we published.
I don't care about the newspaper, but
But-
thank you
Okay.
for that.
Well, I'm just letting you know, because
Okay,
you guys
okay.
are sticklers for the details, so you will not see it in the newspaper because we did not have that information before we published. But we felt it was important when we had this meeting that you knew that it had come in. The
So-
calculation's been made. When
Okay.
we have our final meeting on the 21st,
Okay.
we will have the true calculation
Okay.
of what it will be.
Okay. So, next question is, will the CRA board start meeting regularly and involve the citizens on how their tax dollars are being spent?
Same board. This council also sits as the CRA board.
So
Correct.
When was your last meeting?
We haven't had
We haven't
We
had.
haven't
Because there was no income. There was no revenue.
So, 2008? Okay, so now that we've got $126,000.
Yep.
Plus $13,000.
Yep.
Now that we got $139,000, are we gonna start meeting?
Probably so.
We will have a CRA board. We will have a meeting. It will be noticed separately on the 21st.
You will
It
have-
will follow the final fiscal year agenda, is my understanding. And
So-
that's when they will meet the first time.
Okay, great. So 21 September, CRA board meeting. Okay.
It will be a city council meeting.
It's a city council meeting. It's a Thursday.
Right.
Okay.
Thursday or
so you-
Tuesday?
No,
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 it's a
it will
Thursday,
be
'cause
the
it's the
city
second one of these.
council, it will be the city council, so it will literally follow, is my understanding, it will follow the final, just like we're having tonight. There will be another meeting that comes after that where we will discuss the CRA.
So just a general question, do you intend to, I know we haven't spent the $13,000 that's currently in the fund. Do you intend to spend the $139,000?
We haven't met yet. We haven't talked about it.
Just asking, what's your intention, just your intention?
Well, it can only be spent in the CRA area.
Right, so
we
would
don't-
you
don't
spend
do
it in the
that.
CRA?
If we need to, we sure will.
Okay, and you might involve the public?
Well, they would have to be here to,
Okay,
when we
okay.
have our meeting.
Okay, so that's good news for the citizens since they contributed $823,000, and it's good news that $139,000 might go towards cleaning up blight in Parker. Just good information. I
Good
think.
information.
Good information, okay. I think that's about it. I think that's,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm sorry? All of these people.
The
are
the elected body. Thank
so
you,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
I did want to point out, Mayor, at each of your regular and special meetings, you also sit as the CRA board, and that's
On the
typically on your notice.
Agenda, yeah.
So,
We haven't had a conversation about it because we haven't had any money. And this is the first time that it's actually started to come in that we never had before. Okay, anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Pat Bosick, 1344 Stratford. A couple of questions on the budget, and one thing back to the CRA. Although we got this 126 from Bay County, is that out of the forecasted 800,000 that's going to
No,
be
ma'am, it's a
generated?
separate, it's separate.
Separate
Okay,
money.
so then a follow-up question.
Where's this 800 coming from? I thought it was 6 and a change.
that's the money coming from.
831,
Ad valorem,
okay, yeah.
Right. So out of the ad valorem, is some of that based upon the frozen value and the current value of the assessed properties?
It was
Is-
impossible when we did the 3% to know what the ad valorem was gonna be.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what the CRA was gonna be. We didn't,
But-
there was no way we could know.
I understand, I'm not asking for the dollar amount, but is the council planning to put that money into the CRA fund?
It has to
Goes
go.
If it is
I'm
in there,
just
yeah,
making
yeah,
sure. I know
absolutely.
that.
No, Ms. Pusek, if it's designated to go there, it will go there.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
In the 23, and I'll ask my questions, and I don't know that I'll get answers or not, I'm sure the timer's running. In the 2023-24 budget, account number 540000, there's about 7,000 budgeted for travel and per diem. This is general government travel and per diem. Less than $1,000 is spent through 31 March 2023. Will there be discussion at the council meetings for any travel meetings for that money? Before we start sending people because we're broke.
That money is for clerk training.
Yeah.
That money is for anything to
Education.
do with education or for
Okay,
League of Cities.
anything to do with, that's my question, is that gonna be discussed at the council, or does the department head just make that determination individually that we're gonna go and do that?
So the last time we
And-
did, we
and-
sent Ms. Heinrichs to
Okay,
clerk
you guys
school.
are taking up my 3 minutes, so if you're gonna hold me to my 3 minutes.
Then I won't answer. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Have a
but
nice
I'm-
day.
I'm
Your
gonna give
time
you
is
my
up.
questions.
Well, I can't answer you because you said I'm taking up your 3 minutes.
I'll take note of your questions, Ms. Fosick, and we'll get them answered.
Okay, in numerous departments, account number 771-000, 772-00, there are various amounts budgeted for principal and interest. What is this loan for, and what is the remaining balance? And I can give you a copy of this, Ms.
Okay.
Galbraith, I have them all written down.
Thank you, that'd be helpful.
You also mentioned, Ms. Galbraith, at a budget meeting, an impact fee account of approximately 500,000. I do not see that account reflected anywhere on the budget spreadsheet. I saw some other funding there, CRA fund, for example, but I did not see that one. Where is the ARPA money reflected that has been allocated but not spent? Because again, that money was allocated, it's not spent, it's not reflected on the budget. I know it's not new income, but it doesn't seem to have shown up anywhere. Same thing with regard to the state reserve fund money, the $2 million loan that we have, didn't see that. In the police department, account number 54100, communications, the budget amount is $42,700. The comments say 23 800 megahertz radios. yet we have only 10 employees in the police department. Why so many radios?
One in the car, one in their hand.
Okay, and I've noticed that there are radios for almost every department, including 17 for the fire department. A
Absolutely.
lot of expense there.
Would you propose we cut the radios, ma'am?
I'm just asking for clarity, and of those 17 people, there are 14 volunteers, are they required to come to regular meetings, and do they go to training, or do they just say that they're volunteers, but we know that we cannot depend upon them? Because that's even been discussed.
Don't
quite a few
insult them,
times.
ma'am.
I'm not.
Don't
insulting,
insult them,
I'm
ma'am.
asking
3
a
minutes.
question.
Your time is up. Thank you. Have a seat. Would anybody else like to come to the podium and speak before we move on? Thank you. Mr. Sloan, I guess you're going to read number 3, right?
Yes, sir. There are a number of resolutions that for information purposes I can read tonight, and my understanding is that they will then be reconsidered and potentially adopted on the 21st.
That is correct, sir.
So with a motion and a second and a vote, I will start to read those in the order that you have them on the agenda.
Council, I need a motion and a second.
Motion to read Resolution 2023-393.
Second.
Call a roll.
Miss Barrow,
No.
Mr. Chappell,
Yes.
Miss Galbraith,
Yes.
Miss Gibson,
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
All right, resolution number 2023-393, a resolution of the City of Parker, Florida, adopting the final levy of ad valorem taxes for the City of Parker for fiscal year 2023-2024, providing for severability and a repealer clause, and providing for an effective date. And this would be one of the ones, Mayor, that would be adopted
The 21st.
if the council so chooses on the 21st.
Correct.
The next one is Resolution 2023-396. You'd need a motion, second, and a vote.
Council?
Motion to read Resolution 2023-396.
Second.
Call a roll, please.
Miss Barrow,
No.
Mr. Chappell,
Yes.
Miss Galbraith.
Yes.
Miss Gibson.
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-396, a resolution of the City of Parker, Florida, adopting a budget for the fiscal year October 1, 2023 through September 30, 2024, and providing for an effective date. The next resolution, Mayor, is actually a CRA resolution. That is 2023-397, and the council sitting as the CRA board can have a motion and second and a vote to have that budget read.
Motion to read Resolution 2023-397.
Do I have a second? Okay. Madam Clerk, will you call a roll, please?
Miss Barrow,
Yes.
Mr. Chappell,
Yes.
Miss Galbraith.
Yes.
Miss Gibson.
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
CRA Resolution 2023-397, a resolution of the City of Parker, Florida, Community Redevelopment Agency adopting a budget for fiscal year October 1, 2023 through September 30, 2024, providing an effective date. And that resolution number, you may want to check that resolution number because the CRA has a separate resolution number tracking.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Those are all the resolutions that
That's everything on
that
the
are
second portion of
tentatively
our
being considered tonight, Mayor.
Okay.
So that would be the end of your
First meeting?
public hearing.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna close and open again. Council, anybody have any conversation before we move on? Anybody?
No, sir.
Ms. Barrow, anybody? Okay, that closes the first meeting. We'll dispense with the reading of the Pledge of Allegiance. Meeting's open. Give me a time if you would. 5:27, is that what you got? 17:27 hours. Okay, would you call the roll, please, Madam Clerk?
Miss Barrow.
Here.
Mr. Chappell,
Here.
Miss Galbraith.
Here.
Miss Gibson.
Here.
Mayor Kelly.
Here. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it is September the 14th, 2023. The floor is open to anybody that would like to come to the podium and speak State your name and address for the record. There's only one. Go ahead, ma'am.
Pat Bosick, 1344 Stratford, and this is for things not on the agenda, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Anything you want to talk
Okay,
about?
I have a question. The budget was on the website, and now it's not. What happened to it?
I don't know, ma'am. I haven't seen it on the website. This is the first I've seen of the budget right here.
I can tell you, there were two budgets posted, Ms. Fosick. One was the budget that we started with,
Right.
and then the second budget, and we had them removed because there was two on there. We didn't want any confusion.
Okay, so will we eventually get the correct one?
I would assume that we can get that back up, right?
We can.
I'm told this is it. If you would like a copy,
That's
I'd be
not
happy
it,
to
ma'am.
make it. It's not it.
No,
No, sir.
Oh.
it is. When you sat, we made the corrections.
Did you make
Yes,
corrections when you printed them?
absolutely. Yes, I
Okay.
did. Yes.
So they are correct or not?
So, yes, ma'am,
Yep.
that will be uploaded.
Okay, thank
after
you.
we
That's
speak.
all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
J.B. Hendricks, 4612 Sunset Drive. I was just curious to know why the CRA suddenly has an income when we haven't in so many years.
Want me to answer that, Mayor?
Yes,
Yep.
please, Mr. Snow.
As
And
you
we
may be
appreciate
aware,
finding
the the calculation is based upon the difference between the 2006 taxable value for the CRA area and the current taxable value. Previous years, that taxable value was either the difference was very small, or it was actually upside down. That for a number of years, the taxable value of the CRA properties actually went down from the 2006 number.
It just
And-
seems after Michael.
and therefore, there was zero money that came in. So the 13,000 they started with was early money from, I want to say, 07, 08, 09 timeframe. This current money is based upon the differential, the difference again, and that taxable value for this year is considerably different and higher. And then the city gets 95% of the money that is collected. The tax collector keeps 5%.
Yes, ma'am.
Jeanette Howard, 1123 East Park Street. Thank you for that, Mr. Swell. Does the fact that we now have an ad valorem tax play a part in that?
No, the CRA money that comes from the county is separate from the ad valorem tax money. It's,
Okay, so,
I think you heard that earlier. It's just, it's a different pot of money.
okay, so,
They would prefer not to pay it to us.
oh, absolutely. I read
You
the
know-
I read the Supreme Court lawsuit that Mr. Sloan was
And
involved
there
in.
was some, yeah, because there was some significant differences in the mapping.
Okay, so I guess piggyback on what Mrs. Heinrichs asked. I think we ought to know the story, and I appreciate you telling the story, Mr. Sloan. But I think we ought to know the story. The story about the CRA and it, you know, somehow I'd love to not have to Google it and call the state auditor general. I'd like to get this information from the city of Parker. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm going to comment on that. We have talked about the CRA funds. We requested that Mr. Sloan look into the CRA funds to find out why we have not received money. We just received the answer, I believe, in the last 2 weeks. I can go back and get an exact date. But there has been no change or has been no increase in our
None.
property values since 2009. That's the reason we have not discussed
Some years
it
we had to
at any
pay.
other meeting.
So I agree with you, but I also respect the former city clerk having to ask the question. I
And
do
there was a
respect that.
mapping issue too that's been resolved that wasn't before, and what was a CRA and what was not a CRA. But now, what Mr. Sloan says is exactly what they discovered, and I'm sure moving forward, we'll probably be able to get you some answers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Listen.
Does anybody else have anything else? Okay. Been waiting for this. Mr. Summerlin, please come to the podium, please. Mr. Summerlin is filling in tonight to open the documents that people have submitted to bid on the water
Oh, okay.
system. Okay, you're up, Tom.
Good evening, council. This is the bid opening for the SRF water main project. We have 5 bidders. The first one is CBC Construction.
And just for the record, Tony, these are just the bid openings.
That's all it is.
They'll be dealt with.
This is the bid opening. When I open these and call out the amounts, she's
Right.
gonna write them on the bid tally, that we will have that.
And then all of that will go to Anchor Engineering for
And I will
review.
take all the documents and turn them over
But
to the engineer.
they didn't have anybody tonight that could be here.
Right.
So this is just opening. I would let me have a pocket knife, and that'd be okay.
Cut yourself.
So again, this is CBC Construction. Okay, CBC Construction's bid is $6,436,635. Bid alternate, $32,988.
Who was that, CBC?
CBC. Next bidder is Mainline Construction. Sir?
Where they're located?
I believe every bidder except for one I'm not sure about is Bay County. Okay. Mainline Construction's bid is $7,998,673.25, with an alternate bid of $44,750.
What was that first one?
First one is, $7,998,673.25. Do the alternate.
Mhm.
Next bidder is Marshall Brothers. $8,634,550. Bid alternate $33,400. Next bidder is North Florida Construction. Bid is $12,902,700.
That's the one.
Bid alternate $8,000.
8,000?
$8,000. Last bidder is Royal American. $6,144,264 with a bid alternate of $5,000. Again, I will take all these documents to the engineer and turn them over there. They will review all the documents and make sure everything was complied by the bid, and they will then report back to the city council with a recommendation.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your day, Tony. Mr. Chapel, you have anything before we close?
The only thing is, I guess, we would talked about having a Halloween party for the city of Parker, and our committee decided, since there's the VFW is having theirs, and the Methodist Church is having theirs, that we decided not to have one. We're just going to help out the church and the VFW, and we're looking at having a fun day or on Memorial Day, I believe.
Fall festival.
Veterans Day?
Fall festival.
Yeah, on the 11th of November, after the parade in Windhaven, or in Callaway. So we're just making plans for that, but nothing's finalized yet. We're just.
When will that be finalized, Mr. Chapel, so we can get it out
We're
there?
meeting Thursday,
Okay.
and to work over the details and what we want to do as far as food goes, what kind of games we want to have, and just make a fun day for the city of Parker.
Okay. Ms. Galbraith, you have
No,
anything?
sir, I have nothing.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have
Nothing? Nothing? Mr. Sloan?
No, nothing further.
Madam Clerk? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do, mister? What are we going to do? We got 2 hours for your brother.
I'll be around. I'll come see you. Keep the coffee hot for me.